In a small village nestled amidst towering mountains, the houses seemed to bear the weight of time and poverty. Ella grew up in one of these houses, adopted at the tender age of 2, with no knowledge of her biological parents. Her adoptive parents, instead of offering her a loving home, subjected her to mistreatment and relentless labor from her earliest memories. Each day, Ella yearned to break free from this life, especially when she confided in her dearest friend, Sophia. The two girls would often sit in the village's solitary park, their imaginations soaring as they envisioned a brighter future in the bustling city. "Sophia, can you imagine living in a place where no one knows us, where we can start anew?" Ella would ask, her gaze lost in the passing clouds. "Absolutely, Ella. I've heard that the city is teeming with opportunities. We can find work, pursue our studies, and perhaps someday even have our own happy families," Sophia would reply, her voice filled with hope. One fateful day, Sophia arrived with exhilarating news. She had secured a job at a cafe in the city, and her enthusiasm was palpable. "Ella, I got the job at the cafe, and they need more staff. You can come with me. We can finally escape this place." Ella's heart skipped a beat. The prospect of leaving behind the abuse and hardship was alluring. "I don't know if my parents will let me go," she said, her voice tinged with worry about her adoptive parents' reaction. "Ella, you have to do this. You deserve a better life," Sophia insisted, her grip on her friend's hands firm and reassuring. That night, Ella summoned the courage to confront her adoptive parents. "Mom, Dad, I've decided to go with Sophia to the city. I have an opportunity to work there, and I want to seize it." Her adoptive mother regarded her with disdain. "Leave? And who will do the chores here? You've always been ungrateful." Ella felt a mixture of fear and determination. "I can't keep living like this. I need a chance at a better life. Do as you please. But don't expect to come back," her adoptive father roared, his words echoing his wife's cold indifference. As dawn broke, Ella bid farewell to the only life she had ever known, her suitcase filled with dreams and a meager collection of belongings. Alongside Sophia, she left the village, its mountains, and her sorrows behind, embarking on a journey into the unknown, their hearts brimming with the hope of finding something better. The city welcomed them with its cacophony and frenetic pace. Everything was new and exciting for Ella, albeit somewhat intimidating. They settled into a small apartment, sharing the space with 2 other girls who worked at the same cafe. "It's small, but it's ours," Sophia remarked as they unpacked. "And here, no one can dictate our lives." Ella smiled, feeling a flicker of freedom for the first time in a long time. They started working at the cafe, where they met Aidan, a regular customer, young and handsome, who frequented the establishment. "May I have a latte and a croissant, please?" Aidan asked, his lips curving into a charming smile. Ella's nerves fluttered as she took his order. "Certainly, just a moment," she replied, striving to maintain her composure. As time went by, Aidan began to engage in more conversations with Ella. He expressed interest in her story and her aspirations. "What brought you to the city?" he inquired one afternoon. "I wanted to escape a difficult life in the countryside and find new opportunities," Ella confessed. "I'm glad you did. Here, you can be whoever you want to be," Aidan said, his gaze reflecting a mixture of admiration and sympathy. Their connection blossomed swiftly. Aidan embodied everything Ella had ever dreamed of in a partner: attentiveness, affection, and above all, unwavering respect. With each passing day, Ella marveled at the ease and natural flow of their love. They strolled hand in hand through the park, shared intimate dinners in cozy restaurants, and often found themselves lost in conversation late into the night, confiding their dreams and fears in each other. Aidan unveiled a side of life that Ella had never known, one brimming with possibilities and the promise of happiness. One day, as they ambled along the waterfront, Aidan took Ella's hand, his smile both timid and assured. "Ella, you make me incredibly happy. I want you to move in with me. Together we can build a wonderful life." Ella's heart pounded in her chest. "Yes, Aidan, I would love to," she replied, her voice filled with certainty. The prospect of a life together filled her with immeasurable joy and hope. However, their newfound bliss was soon overshadowed by the icy demeanor of Aidan's mother, Clara. From the very first day that Ella moved into their home, she felt the weight of Victoria's critical gaze upon her. The woman observed her with suspicion, her words laced with veiled barbs disguised as pleasantries. "This house isn't for just anyone," she would often remark, a false smile gracing her lips. Ella tried her best to ignore her, choosing instead to focus on her love for Aidan and the life they were building together. But matters took a turn for the worse. One day, while Aidan was away at work, Clara stormed into Ella's room, her face contorted with fury. "I know it was you! I should have never let you step foot in this house!" she shrieked, brandishing an empty jewelry box. Ella, taken aback and deeply hurt, attempted to defend herself. "I would never do such a thing. I don't know what you're talking about." "Liar!" Clara spat. "Ever since you arrived, everything has gone wrong. You're here to take advantage of my son and our family. You're a thief." Clara's unjust accusations formed a lump in Ella's throat, choking back her words. Tears streamed down her face as she desperately tried to explain that she hadn't taken anything. "Please, Mrs. Clara, I didn't steal anything. I love Aidan, and I would never do anything to hurt him." When Aidan returned home that evening, he was met by his mother, her eyes red-rimmed with tears, her voice trembling with feigned distress. "Aidan, this girl is not who she seems. She's here to use us. I discovered that she stole a very valuable piece of jewelry from me." Aidan, torn between his love for Ella and his loyalty to his mother, felt his world crumbling around him. He looked at Ella, who stood silently sobbing in the corner of the room, and then at his mother, whose stern gaze demanded a decision. "Aidan, please, believe me. I didn't do anything," Ella pleaded, her voice thick with anguish. In the end, succumbing to his mother's pressure and the seed of doubt that had been sown in his heart, Aidan made a choice. "I'm sorry, Ella, but I think it's best if you leave. I can't let this situation continue." Aidan's words struck Ella like a physical blow. Heartbroken and reeling from a profound sense of betrayal, she gathered her meager belongings and fled the house, leaving behind not only the place she had begun to call home, but also the man she had loved with all her being. Ella walked aimlessly through the city streets, the cold night air biting at her face. Each step seemed to carry with it a piece of her shattered heart. She had nowhere to go, the bright city lights mocking her pain. After hours of wandering, she decided to call the one friend she knew she could rely on, Sophia. "Sophia, it's Ella," she said, her voice trembling. "Can I come over? I don't know what to do." Sophia didn't hesitate. "Of course, Ella. Come right away." Ella arrived at Sophia's apartment, her eyes red and swollen, her spirit broken. Sophia greeted her with a warm embrace, understanding the depth of her pain without the need for words. "It's going to be all right," Sophia murmured, trying to comfort her. "We'll figure this out." Over the next few days, Sophia helped Ella search for work. Despite initial rejections, they finally found an opportunity at a small hotel in the city. Richard, the hotel manager, seemed kind and willing to give Ella a chance. "Welcome, Ella. We need someone hardworking and responsible. I trust you'll live up to our expectations," Richard said, shaking her hand. "I'll do my very best, sir," Ella replied, determined to prove herself. From day one, Ella threw herself into her work with unwavering dedication. She cleaned rooms, tidied the lobby, and attended to guests with a smile, though her heart still ached for Aidan's betrayal. She knew she couldn't let the pain consume her. She needed to move forward. However, not everything was easy. Richard, though initially kind, began to exhibit inappropriate behavior towards Ella. He would stare at her awkwardly and make comments that made her uncomfortable. One day, while Ella was cleaning one of the rooms, Richard entered without warning. "Ella, how are you adjusting to the job?" he asked, stepping a little too close for comfort. "Everything is fine, Mr. Richard." "Thank you for asking," Ella replied, trying to remain calm. Richard smiled, but there was something in his eyes that unsettled her. "You know, if you ever need anything at all, don't hesitate to come to my office. I'm always happy to help." Ella nodded, a knot forming in her stomach. She knew she would have to be careful to keep her job without giving in to Richard's advances. Despite these challenges, Ella refused to let anything distract her from her goal. She worked long hours, often without rest, and her effort did not go unnoticed. Guests began to take note of her dedication, some even leaving positive feedback about her service. One day, as she was taking a short break in the lobby, Sophia came to visit. "Ella, you're doing an incredible job. I'm so proud of you," she said, pulling her into a tight hug. "Thanks, Sophia. I don't know what I'd do without you," Ella replied, the warmth of her friend's embrace easing the ache in her heart, just a little. Life at the hotel continued its bustling rhythm. Each day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities for Ella to demonstrate her worth. She learned to handle guest complaints with professionalism, resolve unexpected problems, and maintain her composure in difficult situations. One evening, as she was checking the inventory of supplies, Richard approached her again. This time, his tone was more aggressive. "Ella, I've noticed you've been avoiding my conversations lately. Is there something you'd like to tell me?" Ella took a deep breath, trying to maintain her composure. "Mr. Richard, I am here to work and do my best. I don't want to cause any trouble." Richard leaned closer, a smile that didn't reach his eyes playing on his lips. "I hope you remember who gave you this opportunity, Ella. Don't forget that everything can change in an instant." A shiver ran down Ella's spine. She knew she had to be strong and not let him intimidate her. From that moment on, she decided she wouldn't be alone in this. The next day, she talked to Sophia about the situation. "Sophia, I need your advice. Richard is being inappropriate and I don't know how to handle it," Ella confessed. Sophia looked at her seriously. "Ella, you need to be brave and confront him. You can't let him intimidate you. We'll figure out a strategy." With Sophia's support, Ella began to document all of her uncomfortable encounters with Richard. She kept a detailed record of his comments and behavior, preparing herself for any eventuality. She knew that although the situation was difficult, she couldn't let this defeat her. Days turned into weeks, and the tension at the hotel thickened. Richard became bolder in his advances. Once, while Ella was replenishing the minibar in one of the rooms, he came up behind her and whispered in her ear, "We should go out to dinner sometime, Ella. I promise you, It will be a night to remember." Ella pulled away quickly, feeling nauseous. "I prefer to keep our relationship strictly professional, Mr. Richard," she replied firmly. Richard didn't give up. The next day, he cornered her in the hallway, blocking her exit with his body. "Do you think you can just reject me and get away with it? I gave you this job, and I can take it away just as easily." Ella, trembling but resolute, met his gaze. "I'm not afraid of you, Mr. Richard. If you continue to harass me, I will report you." Richard let out a bitter laugh. "Report me? No one will believe you. You're just another employee." Ella stood her ground, though inside she felt terrified. "I have proof of everything you've done and said. Don't make me use it." Finally, one evening, Richard crossed the line, and Ella, armed with her log and the determination to not be a victim, confronted him. "Mr. Richard, I have tolerated enough. I have proof of your behavior, and I will not hesitate to use it if you continue to harass me." Richard, taken aback by Ella's firmness, stepped back. "You have no proof," he said, though his voice lacked conviction. "I do," Ella replied, her calm demeanor masking her nervousness. "And if this continues, I will take it to the hotel management." Richard, realizing that Ella was not someone he could easily intimidate, decided to back down. From that day forward, he stopped bothering her, and Ella was able to focus fully on her work. The snowstorm arrived without warning, transforming the tranquil night into an icy chaos. Gusts of wind lashed against the windows of the small hotel, and snow piled up rapidly, blanketing everything in sight. Ella, exhausted after a long day of work, was about to retire to her room when she heard a faint rapping at the front door. Intrigued and concerned, she approached the door and opened it slightly. Standing outside, almost hidden by the swirling snow and wind, was a visibly pregnant woman, her body trembling, her lips blue with cold. "Please," the woman pleaded, her voice barely audible above the roar of the storm. "I need help." Ella didn't hesitate for a second. "Come in quickly," she said, throwing the door open wide and helping the woman inside. The warmth of the lobby was a stark contrast to the frigid air outside. "Sit down here. I'll get you something warm." The woman, her movements slow and labored due to her advanced pregnancy, sank gratefully into one of the chairs in the lobby. Ella hurried to the kitchen and returned with a steaming mug of tea and a thick blanket. "Here, drink this," she said, draping the blanket over the woman's shoulders and handing her the mug. "Thank you," the woman murmured, tears of gratitude welling in her eyes. "My name is Victoria. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't let me in." Ella smiled gently. "Don't mention it. I'm Ella. Now, tell me what brought you out in this storm." Victoria sighed, taking a sip of the hot tea before speaking. "I went for a walk this afternoon. I needed to clear my head. I didn't expect the storm to hit so quickly. I live with my father, but sometimes I just need a break. Tonight, I just couldn't face going back there." Ella nodded, listening intently. "You should stay here until the storm passes. It's far too dangerous to go out now." Just then, the door to the lobby burst open, and Richard stormed in, his face a mask of fury. "What is going on here?" he boomed, his voice echoing in the room. "Who is this woman?" Ella immediately stood up, placing herself between Richard and Victoria. "She's a pregnant woman, Richard. I couldn't leave her out in this storm." "You violated the hotel rules!" shouted Richard, his face red with anger. "You can't bring strangers here without permission. This is unacceptable." Victoria, still trembling, tried to explain. "I just needed a safe place for the night. I didn't want to cause any trouble." Richard ignored her, focusing his fury on Ella. "You're fired, Ella. I can't tolerate this kind of behavior." Ella felt a knot in her stomach, but she didn't regret her decision. "Fine, Richard. If helping someone in need means losing my job, then I'll accept the consequences." Richard glared at her with disdain before turning and storming out of the lobby, leaving a tense silence in his wake. Victoria began to cry softly, and Ella went to her side to comfort her. "Don't worry about me. I'll find another way." "I'm so sorry, Ella," sobbed Victoria. "I didn't mean to get you into trouble." "It's all right," Ella replied firmly. "You did the right thing by asking for help. Now, let's make sure you're all right." As the storm raged outside, Ella and Victoria continued talking, sharing their stories and finding solace in each other's company. "My father is William, a well-known entrepreneur," Victoria explained. "I just wanted some time to myself tonight, but I didn't expect all of this to happen." Ella listened intently, sensing an unexpected connection with Victoria. Despite their different backgrounds, both women shared a strength and determination that drew them together. The following morning, the storm had subsided, leaving behind a landscape blanketed in snow. Richard was still nowhere to be seen, which gave Ella and Victoria time to plan their next move. "I'll take you to my father's house," Victoria said. "He can help you find a new job. I'm sure he'll appreciate what you did for me." Ella nodded, grateful but also a little nervous. "Thank you, Victoria. I accept your help. And don't worry about the job. I'll find something else." Victoria smiled. "I know you will. You're a strong woman, Ella." Together they left the hotel, leaving the events of the previous night behind them. As they made their way to William's home, a stately manor in the heart of the city, Ella felt overwhelmed by the sheer grandeur of the place. In the quiet comfort of William's home, Ella began to feel a sense of respite after days of uncertainty and distress. Victoria, grateful for Ella's help during the storm, wasted no time in speaking to her father about her new friend's situation. "Father," Victoria began one morning as they enjoyed breakfast together, "Ella needs to find a new job. She helped me during a critical moment, and I'd like to do the same for her." William, his face etched with a warm smile and his eyes reflecting genuine appreciation, nodded understandingly. "Of course, my dear. I know several people who would be interested in hiring someone as dedicated and courageous as Ella. Let me make a few calls." That very day, William reached out to a close friend of his, the owner of an elegant restaurant in the city center. "I have a recommendation for you, Robert," William said over the phone. "She's a hard-working young woman in need of an opportunity." Robert, trusting William's judgment implicitly, agreed to interview Ella. The next day, Ella presented herself at the restaurant, nervous but determined. Robert greeted her with a professional smile. "William has told me a lot about you, Ella. Why don't you tell me a little about your experience?" Ella recounted her story honestly, speaking of her work at the hotel and the challenges she had faced. Robert, impressed by her sincerity and determination, decided to give her a chance. "You can start tomorrow. Welcome to the team." Ella felt a wave of relief and gratitude wash over her. "Thank you, Mr. Robert. I won't disappoint you." As the days passed, Ella quickly adapted to her new job. The atmosphere at the restaurant was professional yet welcoming, and Robert proved to be a fair and understanding employer. Ella worked hard, striving to learn and improve each day. Victoria and Ella also spent a lot of time together outside of work. Their conversations ranged from light-hearted banter to deep reflections on their past wounds. Ella began to notice small details about Victoria, gestures and mannerisms that seemed strangely familiar. One afternoon, as they were strolling through the park, Ella mentioned a peculiar feeling. "You know, Victoria," Ella said, laughing softly, "sometimes I feel like I've known you longer than we actually have." Victoria looked at her curiously. "I feel it too. It's as if there's a deeper connection between us." They both fell silent for a moment, pondering those words. But the business of daily life soon took over, and those lingering suspicions were pushed to the back of their minds. The time they spent together solidified their friendship. Victoria shared her own challenges with Ella, from the weight of her father's expectations to the burden of being the heiress to a business empire. Ella, in turn, spoke of her life in the village, the constant struggle to find her place in the world, and the pain of Aidan's betrayal. "It was hard at first," Ella confessed one evening as they sipped tea in Victoria's living room. "But I feel myself getting stronger each day, and having you as my friend has been a blessing." Victoria smiled, touched by Ella's words. "I feel the same way. Sometimes finding someone who truly understands you is worth more than any amount of wealth." Victoria and Ella's bond grew stronger with each passing day. They'd spend long evenings conversing in the drawing room, sharing childhood anecdotes, fears, and aspirations. However, a persistent suspicion began to bloom in Victoria's mind. There was something about Ella that felt eerily familiar. One evening, as they chatted, Victoria noticed something on Ella's nape that made her pause. "Ella," Victoria began, her voice attempting a sense of calm, "can I ask you something personal?" "Of course, Victoria. What is it?" "I've noticed you have a birthmark on your nape. It's identical to the one my younger sister, who disappeared when she was 2, had." Ella sat in stunned silence, taken aback by Victoria's observation. "I didn't know you had a sister who disappeared," she finally said. Victoria nodded, her eyes filled with the painful memory. "Yes, her name was Lisa. We lost her many years ago, and we never stopped looking for her. That birthmark was very distinctive. I always thought if I ever found her, it would be one of the signs." Ella's heart pounded in her chest. "Victoria, I was adopted when I was 2. I don't know anything about my life before then. My adoptive parents never wanted to talk about it." Victoria's mind began to race. "Ella, I think we need to look into this further. If you really are my sister, we need to know." Over the next few days, Victoria sprang into action, determined to uncover the truth. She delved into family archives, scrutinized old photographs, and contacted the private investigators her father had hired years ago. Meanwhile, Ella tried to focus on her work, but the possibility of discovering her true identity kept her on edge. One afternoon, Victoria received a call from the lead investigator who had been looking into the case. "Miss Victoria," the man said, his voice laced with urgency, "I've found something interesting. I need you to come down to my office as soon as possible." Victoria and Ella rushed to the investigator's office together, a palpable tension filling the air. "Thank you for seeing us on such short notice," Victoria said as they entered the dimly lit office. The investigator nodded, his face etched with seriousness. He spread out several documents on the table. "I've been going through adoption records and found a startling match. Ella was adopted from an orphanage in the same area and around the same time your sister disappeared." Ella felt a knot of anticipation tighten in her stomach. "Are you saying I could be Lisa?" "The evidence is quite compelling," the investigator replied, choosing his words carefully. "But to be absolutely certain, we would need to do a DNA test. Victoria and Ella exchanged a look, their eyes filled with a mixture of hope and trepidation. "Let's do it," Ella said with resolute determination. "I need to know the truth." The DNA testing process was quick, but the wait for the results felt excruciatingly long. During those agonizing days, Victoria and Ella found themselves talking even more, sharing their innermost thoughts and feelings. The possibility of being sisters drew them closer than ever, but it also brought a palpable anxiety. Finally, the day of the results arrived. The investigator summoned them to his office and handed them a sealed envelope containing the results. Victoria, her hands shaking slightly, opened the envelope and read the life-altering words aloud. "Ella," she choked back a sob, "you are Lisa. You're my sister." Tears welled up in both their eyes as they embraced each other, a wave of joy, relief, and sorrow for the lost years washing over them. "I can't believe it," Ella cried, her voice thick with emotion. "All my life, I've felt incomplete. And now I know why." Victoria stroked her sister's hair, trying to comfort her. "It doesn't matter what happened in the past. What matters is that we've found each other. We have a chance to make up for lost time." The following weeks were a whirlwind of preparations and intense emotions. Ella, now known as Lisa, prepared herself to meet her biological father, William. A mix of anxiety and excitement churned within her as the day of the reunion approached. They'd met briefly before, but this time felt different, more real, more significant. Finally, the day arrived. Victoria and Ella traveled together to the family estate, a place that was unfamiliar to Ella, yet about to become her home. As the car wound its way along the tree-lined driveway, Ella gazed out the window, trying to calm the nervous fluttering in her stomach. "Everything will be all right, Lisa," Victoria said, reaching out to squeeze her sister's hand reassuringly. "Father is so excited to really get to know you this time." Ella nodded, gripping Victoria's hand tightly. "I know, but I can't help but feel nervous. It's such a big change." Victoria smiled warmly. "I understand, but we're in this together, and that's all that matters." As they pulled up to the grand entrance of the estate, William stood waiting, his tall, imposing figure a comforting presence. His eyes, filled with tears, locked onto Ella's as she stepped out of the car. "Lisa," he said, his voice thick with emotion, opening his arms wide. "My little Lisa." Ella rushed into his embrace, a wave of relief and happiness washing over her. "Father," she whispered, leaning into his embrace. Tears streamed down her face as she felt an immediate, deep connection with her father. The reunion was emotional and filled with tears of joy. William, Victoria, and Ella sat together in the grand drawing room, surrounded by family mementos and photographs. William picked up one of the photographs and showed it to Ella. "This was the last picture we took before you disappeared," he said, a hint of sadness creeping into his voice. "Your mother and I, we never stopped looking for you." Ella stared at the photograph, seeing her biological parents for the first time. "What happened that day?" she asked, needing to understand the story behind her disappearance. William sighed, the pain of those years etched on his face. "It was a summer day. We were at the park, and you slipped away from my grasp for just a moment. When I turned around, you were gone. We searched everywhere, called the police, but there was no trace of you. It was as if you had vanished into thin air." Ella felt a lump form in her throat. "And how did I end up at the orphanage?" "That remains a mystery," William admitted. "But what matters now is that you are here, with us." Victoria reached out and took Ella's hand. "We'll figure it out together, Lisa. No matter how long it takes, we'll find all the answers." As time went on, Ella settled into life at the estate, becoming an integral part of the family. She marveled at how natural it felt to be with them, as if she had always belonged there. William, Victoria, and Ella worked together on the family business, their bond strengthening with each passing day as they built a future together. One day, as they strolled through the estate's sprawling gardens, William shared more about his late wife, Victoria, and Ella's mother. "Your mother was an incredible woman," he said, a wistful smile gracing his lips. "She was strong, compassionate, and always put her family first. I know she would have been so proud to see you both together." Ella felt a deep sense of connection to the mother she never knew. "I wish I could have met her," she said softly. "In many ways you have," William replied, his voice filled with warmth. "She lives on in both of you, in your actions, in your strength. And now, as a family, we honor her memory by taking care of each other." Life at the estate settled into a peaceful rhythm. But the tranquility Ella, now known as Lisa, had found with her true family was threatened by an unexpected turn of events. One afternoon, as Ella enjoyed a leisurely walk through the gardens with Victoria, a phone call brought her to an abrupt halt. "Hello?" she answered, a mix of curiosity and apprehension in her voice. "Ella?" The voice on the other end was cold and calculating. It was her adoptive mother. "We've heard you've reunited with your real family and that they're quite wealthy. We believe you owe us compensation for all the years we took care of you." Ella's heart pounded in her chest. She hadn't expected this. "Compensation? What are you talking about?" "You know exactly what I'm talking about," the voice continued, laced with an icy edge. "Raising you wasn't easy or cheap. We think it's only fair that you pay us back for all those years." Ella felt a mix of anger and sadness well up within her. She had tried to put that dark chapter of her life behind her, but it seemed the past had a way of catching up. "I can't believe you're doing this," she said, struggling to maintain her composure. "After everything you put me through." "Stop whining," her adoptive mother retorted, her tone laced with disdain. "We just want what's right. If not, we can always go public with this and ruin your newfound happiness." Victoria, who had been listening intently, squeezed Ella's hand in support. "You're not alone in this," she whispered reassuringly. Ella, her resolve strengthened by her sister's presence, responded with newfound firmness. "I'm not giving you a single penny, and if you try anything, I have proof of the abuse I suffered in your home. I won't hesitate to go to the police." A tense silence hung in the air before her adoptive mother spoke again, this time a note of desperation creeping into her voice. "All right, Ella. We don't want any trouble. We just thought it was the right thing to do." "The right thing to do would have been to treat me with love and respect," Ella said, her voice filled with a mix of sadness and anger. "Now, leave me alone." She hung up the phone, feeling a sense of relief wash over her, but also a lingering feeling of unease. Even though her adoptive parents had treated her poorly, she couldn't deny that they had been her only family for many years, as dysfunctional as they were. That night, Ella sat down and wrote a letter. She wanted to close that chapter of her life in a way that allowed her to move forward without bitterness. She expressed gratitude for the years they had provided for her, acknowledging that despite the hardships, they had given her a roof over her head. She enclosed a check with a significant sum, enough to alleviate any financial burden they might be facing, and to perhaps assuage any guilt she might have carried. "Dear Mother and Father," she wrote, her hand gliding across the paper, "despite everything, I cannot erase the years I spent under your roof. I hope this money will be of help to you, and that you find peace in your lives. Ella." She sent the letter the following day, feeling a weight lift from her shoulders. She had done what she felt was right, and now she could focus on her new life, surrounded by her true family. Victoria and William were there every step of the way, offering their unwavering support and understanding. "We're so proud of you, Lisa," William said one evening as they shared dinner together, his voice filled with warmth and admiration. "You've shown incredible strength." "Thank you, Father," Ella replied, her heart overflowing with gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without you both." As time went on, Ella and Victoria found a comfortable rhythm at the estate. Their days were filled with meaningful work and joyful moments shared as a family. The estate wasn't just a home, it was a place of healing and renewal. One day, as Ella and Victoria worked side by side in the estate's office, Victoria stumbled upon something in the old files that made her pause. "Lisa, look at this," she said, handing a weathered document to her sister. "It's a letter from Mother, written shortly before you disappeared." Ella's hands trembled slightly as she took the letter. Her mother's handwriting was elegant and flowing, the words filled with love and hope. "My dearest Lisa," she read aloud, her voice thick with emotion, "always know in your heart that you are loved. No matter where you are, you will always find your way back home." Tears welled up in Ella's eyes, blurring the words on the page. "She knew," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "She always knew I would find my way back someday." Victoria pulled her sister into a tight embrace. "And you have. We're together again. And that's all that matters." Ella's past had been a tumultuous journey of pain and hardship, but she had finally found her way to a place where she could heal and thrive. The estate, with its blooming gardens and panoramic views, had become a symbol of renewal and hope. Each day brought new opportunities and challenges, but it also brought the unwavering certainty that family would always be the bedrock upon which everything else was built. As the sun began its descent one evening, casting a warm glow over the estate, Ella and Victoria sat on the veranda, their gazes fixed on the horizon. "Thank you for never giving up on me," Ella said, turning to look at her sister with gratitude shining in her eyes. "I never would," Victoria replied, squeezing Ella's hand. "You're my sister, and you always will be. No matter what life throws our way, I'll always be here for you." And so, bathed in the golden light of the setting sun, the two sisters looked towards the future, their hearts filled with hope and determination. They had found their way back to each other, back to a place where they truly belonged, and they knew that together they could weather any storm. Ella's story, or Lisa as she later discovers, is a deeply moving journey of self-discovery and redemption. From a childhood marred by abuse and abandonment, her bravery and resilience lead her to uncover her true identity and find her biological family. The immediate and powerful connection with her sister Victoria and father William reveals the unbreakable strength of familial bonds and unconditional love. Ella's path is paved with challenges, yet each obstacle serves to strengthen her resolve. Her decision to confront her adoptive parents and settle the past with dignity and compassion highlights her emotional growth. Ella learns that true strength lies in the ability to forgive and move forward without letting bitterness consume her. Ella's story reminds us of the importance of perseverance and the power of familial love. It reminds us that no matter how dark the past may seem, there is always hope and the possibility of a new beginning. Redemption and reconciliation are possible when we face our pain with courage and open our hearts to forgiveness and healing. If you found the characters' journeys inspiring, give this video a thumbs up and comment below to share your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more uplifting stories that highlight the power of human connection and kindness. Thanks for watching.